What's up, y'all? It's your girl, and welcome to this week's episode. So, this week's episode is called In the Mirror, and yes, it is inspired by Michael Jackson. Okay, the question I want to start off by asking is when you look in the mirror, literally and metaphorically, what do you see reflected back at you? I think a lot of us have an idea of who we are. But the question really is it accurate? Is it actually who we really are? You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times, I feel like we as humans have the propensity to go one of two directions, and it's always a contrast. It's always the contrast. You either think very highly about yourself, or you think very low about yourself. So what's accurate and what's not? We gotta stop long enough from all the distractions, from all the noise around us, all the people in our ear, whether it's co-workers, whether it's family, whether it's your partner, whether it's whatever it is. Stop long enough to ask yourself, what is really me? Who really am I? I think a lot of it is programming. A lot of it is programming in how we were raised, the past experiences that we've had, things that shape and define us, trauma, even just how you were spoken to when you were growing up. You know what I'm saying? It all plays into it. And the programs that we were born into and raised out of, that absolutely plays a part, a huge part. In fact, it's most of it. Okay, because who are you really? Without the programming, without the world telling you who to be, without your parents telling you who to be, without your friends telling you what you should do, without social media telling you how you should think and what you should feel and what you should spend your time on. What do you think? How do you feel? What do you believe? And do you actually stand on that belief? I think one of the most special things for me, just going back and listening to all Michael's music, has been seeing it, hearing it with a fresh set of eyes and ears that understands more the depth of what he was really trying to say. You know what I'm saying? When you're a kid, you're not thinking about that. It's just like, this is a banger, okay? So ever since I watched the movie, I feel like every day I have been obsessed with a different song. And the last couple days, I just cannot get over Man in the Mirror, all right? And I think it's an ADHD thing too. If you know, you know, where you just gotta listen to a song into the ground. Like when you're obsessed, I could listen to it every day, 500 times a day, and still not get tired of it. Okay, if you know, you know. But listening back to it now, I feel like I have such a deeper understanding and appreciation for that song. So that's really what inspired this episode, because it got me thinking. Like, I was on my way to the gym the other day, just blasting that in the car, and I'm like, he was really onto something here, okay? Like, he really was onto something in so many ways. But what really stuck out to me was the fact that he was basically like, he was looking at the world around him, seeing all that's going on, and he was like, you know what? I need to change myself. I need to look in the mirror and start with me. Not all of us come to that conclusion. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's easier to blame the world around us, to blame society, to blame everything that's out of our control. But the real change starts with us. It starts with me and you. And it's as simple as that. And everything else is an overcomplication, baby. It really, truly is. Because you know what? If they got us thinking that it's too big for us, that it's impossible, that it's out of reach, that it's bigger than you and me, like we can't do nothing about it. If they convince us that we can't do nothing about anything that's going on around us, that it's just too overwhelming or it's impossible of a task, then we won't. But we gotta break away. That's why you got to get out from the distractions every once in a while. I get it. You gotta live in this world. That don't mean you gotta be of it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to follow every trend. You ain't got to group think. You ain't got to do what they tell you just because they told you to. Stop and question. It's a lot of us, y'all, who are just existing in this life and not really living at all. They do the things they think they want to do. They spend their time the way they think they want to spend their time. But in reality, have they stopped long enough to question? Have we stopped long enough to question if anything that I'm doing is actually me, an authentic representation of who I really truly am and believe myself to be? You know what I'm saying? A lot of it is our programming. A lot of it is we think we're using our free will, but in reality, we're just following what the next person does and we don't even realize it. Because we're not stopping long enough to really check in with ourselves, to really ask ourselves the hard questions: who we are, what we like, what we dislike, what we enjoy. Not what other people tell us we should enjoy, not what's trending on social media, what we enjoy, what our childhood self enjoyed. Because really so much of this life isn't even learning, it's unlearning. All the things that you were once taught that you thought were real and true, that really aren't. That was just somebody else's perspective, limitations, and experiences that they put on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's so much. You got to filter it all out. I feel like a lot of us like, why can't I get through to it? Why don't I know who I am? Why do I feel like I'm always being caught in the wind? Because you are not setting aside time, making it a priority to really tap in with yourself. This week, I want to challenge y'all, go and take yourself on a date. Just you. You could go to the park. You ain't even got to spend any money. You could go out to dinner. You could go take pictures. You could go to the library and read a book. Whatever it is, okay? But do something. Set aside a specific amount of time, like you would for an appointment. Something you're not missing. That you schedule in and you uphold with yourself. And then get in a position, whether you gotta listen to music, and then really check in with yourself. Even if you gotta look up some questions because you don't know where to start, ask yourself, who am I really? And how, with what is reflected back at me, what can I embrace and what can I improve so that I can be better, so I can show up better, not only for myself, but for the people around me, for this world around me, for my community. You know what I'm saying? Because what we're not gonna do is just learn more about ourselves and then be like, well, that's who I always been. There are things about yourself, yes, part of your personality, your characteristics that are unchanging. They're just you authentically. You don't even gotta realize or try to do them. They just are you. From when you was a kid to all the way up until now. But there are also other things more on your shadow side that you're not always as honest and transparent about, that need some improvement, that affect how you show up in the world for yourself and for your people. You know what I'm saying? And we can't just take that information and shove it down or not look in the mirror. We get to face it head on and be brave enough to take the steps, to make the changes, to improve ourselves little by little so that we can show up better for this world around us. We have the power to make the change, y'all. Don't get complacent. Don't get comfortable in just doing what you always done, because that's all you know. Test your limits. Go outside your comfort zone. Challenge yourself to be better, to do better, to expand, to grow, and to show up better for yourself and this world around you. So are you really living, or are you just existing? I hope y'all have an amazing week, and stay tuned for the next episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time.